All right, we are back live on the Facebook. Seems like just a couple hours ago I saw you people. How fun was it to be at worship together today? Loved it so much. Just loved it. Loved seeing y'all. Haven't had a crowd. And it was fun. Don't you hate it when there's a little thing on your screen that says touch it there and you try to touch it and nothing happens? Oh well. Hey Faith, sure was fun to see you today. Thank you for checking in with us. Kendall, it's always good to see you. How are you doing? Man, it was good. Good to have y'all at church. The back is hurting. Yeah, if you didn't know, I got on a rowing machine today, and I don't know. I'm always trying to do something new, something different. I get bored doing the same exercise every time, so I thought I'd get on the rowing machine and knock out a few reps. And man, 5 minutes didn't sound like that long. And I came home, watched a little television, and next thing I knew, my back was just in pain. I got up to get a drink, and I was like, ah. So anyway, it was pretty hurting. Hey, Luke Harrington, Lydia Allison, it's good for y'all to check in. I appreciate that. Just kind of hope y'all are doing well. Well, what have y'all got on your minds today? It was fun to worship. I'm trying to think what else I have for you. I think we had about 130 people at church today. So I think that means we're going to have to go to 2 services next week. I was kind of hoping we could wait on 2 services until after the 28th, which is our church birthday party when we have the nursery again. Hey, John Boring, good to see you, my brother. Bill Faber and Jeremy Cole have joined us. Hey, guys. Somebody share this to the Facebook group, the church group. I wasn't able to share it. Sometimes I'm not able to do something. So, Ricky Jones, that's me. So, anyway, like I said, we had about 125. Our sanctuary maximum right now at social distancing is about 140. So we are going to go ahead and go to 2 services next Sunday, which is great. We've been doing 2 services for 8 years. I just was hoping I wouldn't have to do it again for a while. I just trying to be honest with y'all guys. I'm never going to lie to you. And it sure is nice to get to sleep a little later on Sunday morning. So that's just me being lazy. All right, well, what do y'all got? Y'all any questions on the 3rd commandment? Today we talked about taking the Lord's name in vain and how anytime we use the Lord's name or his reputation, without having that relationship, without something that he is there for, without something that he would approve of, then it's taking his name in vain. It's emptiness, right? That's what vanity is, emptiness, meaninglessness. The first words of Ecclesiastes are meaningless. It's all meaninglessness, vanity. And that's the word in this commandment. That's the word in this commandment. To take the Lord's name in vain, to use his name meaninglessly, is offensive to him, and he won't take that lightly. And if you are using his name in a meaningless way, in a way that doesn't signify having a relationship with him, then you shouldn't expect for your sins to be forgiven. You shouldn't expect for your prayers to be heard. You shouldn't expect any kind of special treatment, but we do, don't we? We use it. We see people using it all the time, whether it be athletes trying to get, maintain that kind of public persona so that they can sell more tennis shoes, or politicians often do that. Kendall, you're not going to lure me into that one, buddy. I'm not commenting on that. I think I've made my position clear. So, But yeah. So do y'all have any questions about that or anything? The floor is wide open. Debbie Vineyard, it's good to see you. Hope you're able to come back to worship with us soon. Cindy Crowder, good to see you. Our worship services are open to anybody who wants to come now. So we'll have 2 services next week at the regular time, 9 and 10:45, and I hope y'all come. So, do you have any questions for me? I didn't come with any. I didn't come with any baited topics. Sorry, I guess I should have. I'm not sure if you covered this, Ricky, but I'm curious. If you're not willing to do that, I'm not going there. Pray for my finger. Oh, no, don't do that. Sally Grantham, what are you doing, girl? Sorry I didn't let you take your mask off, but you're welcome to come sit up front. So that offer to everybody who's listening, nobody wants to sing with a mask on. I don't. It's awful. If you are on the front row, this is hilarious. It's so fun for me to get to offer an incentive for you to sit on the front row. And so if you will come and sit on the very front row, you can take your mask off and worship like the good old days. So it's funny. I told people that today. We had people running down to the front row, and I've already had people saying they're going to get there early. So I can't wait. It's a lot of fun to have you all on the front row. All right. Well, y'all start writing me some questions into the in the comment booth. I will comment on anything but current politicians. So that's off limits. Hey, cousin Lisa Marie, it's so good to see you. I'm glad It's amazing that this coronavirus has gotten me back in touch with my cousins in Tennessee. So it's great to hear from you. If I can't say the word Tennessee much without my accent changing, my wife always laughs at my accent and how it changes when I say the word Tennessee. So there you go. Hey, Von Knight, hope you're doing well. Hope you're able to come join us again soon. I guess you're in South Carolina. Good to hear from you. All right, guys, I need a question. Brandon Penner. Brandon and I just played an epic game of chess, and it was a draw. That happens a lot in chess. I feel like I do something good if I tie Brandon. He's an engineer. What advice do you give to those of you counseling friends and not to represent the Lord falsely? What lines would you draw? That's always hard, Bill, because you don't want, you kind of have to enter into what somebody is doing and where they are. And so I guess anytime they're taking the name of the Lord publicly, though, they're kind of inviting you. Like you can step into that conversation with them, I think. And so I think since they're inviting, that gives you an opportunity to just say with them, hey, what's going on there? Is this a real thing? How is your relationship with the Lord? I see that you're publicly talking about Him, but what's going on with you personally? How is your personal relationship going? What is your prayer life like? What is your relationship with Him like? What are some things that the Lord is? This is if you really want to dive in there with somebody. I always ask people, what's some of the things that the Lord is challenging you to repent of lately? The old question is, if the Lord's not calling you to repent of anything, then you're probably confusing God with the true God with the God of your making. You've just kind of made Him into somebody who's your own. So those are all good questions. I don't think you can just dive straight into the third commandment because it's hard. It's offensive, and you put people on the defensive. Does that make sense? So, if someone's claiming God's authority for their, public opinions or their political opinions or whatever, you can't. If you just try to dive straight into that kind of issue, you'll really stimulate a lot of defensiveness. I think it's better to kind of come in the back door on that. That's the way I would do that. I got Jeremy Cole ask another question here. Some things related to the third commandment that we overlook every day. I think all kinds of. I talked about that a lot today, Jeremy. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to the sermon yet, but some other things that I think about. Any kind of public displays of religion are very dangerous. You know, Jesus was very stern against public displays of religion. And I've always been against those as well. It's always fun to say that, isn't it? That sounded terrible. It's like, yeah, me and Jesus. Stupid. But I take his commands seriously, I guess is what I would say. You know, he says avoid public displays of religion. If you want to pray, go into your home and into your closet and pray in secret. If you're going to fast in secret. And those things are, you know, it's really kind of cool. But kind of comes and goes culturally, how cool it is to talk about your fasting. There for a while, people would talk about, man, I'm on a 40-day fast about, you know, trying to get the Lord to do such and such. And I thought that was really inappropriate and just a straight contradiction to the Lord and his commandment. But even things like public prayers that are public prayers for a certain purpose. Like, for instance, you know, the one that came up a lot for my kids is the whole see at the pole thing. And, you know, all the Christians in school gathering around the flagpole to pray. And I got no problem with gathering in prayer. I go to prayer meetings all the time. But if you're doing it to be seen, it's very dangerous. That's really inviting sin. That's inviting pride. That's inviting hypocrisy. It's putting a lot of pressure on a teenager, putting a lot of pressure on a child. You know, is this public display of religion real, or are you just taking the name of the Lord in vain? There are other things, Jeremy. You know, just religious ceremonies that go on in things like fraternities and sororities and even adult social clubs. A lot of those are just taking the name of the Lord in vain. They're meaningless. They're not real. You know, and honestly, if your fraternity is really honestly nothing more than a social club and a drinking club and a fellowship, then that's great. I don't necessarily have a problem with you doing those things, but it's really not okay to have religious ceremonies around that. Does that make sense? I know that's stepping on a lot of toes, but I mean, I had professors even would go further. They would say things like, like public. They really would never. Seminary professors would really even question things like, you know, public prayers at dinners or at football games or whatever, because it just depends on the person. Again, if you can really invite the Lord into this, that's fine. But a lot of people, that just really causes this temptation to make you want to display a form of righteousness that's just not there. So those are a few things. I hope that's helpful, Jeremy. I see a question from Josh and Amanda Markham. Questions from our girls. How do you keep from saying God when you mean to say gosh? And is saying or texting OMG bad? It's not the greatest thing in the world, you know. But I just think it's always important to not get into bad habits. I've told my kids this, and we're not a stickler, and my kids are probably more profane than a lot of preachers' kids because I'm profane, and the words you use around the house, and so I think it's fun. I learned this from a friend named Mac Lowe, who really. I think did an excellent job of talking to his children about profanity, and he kind of locked himself in the bedroom with them, and he's like, guys, you can say anything you want to right now, as long as it's not hurtful to somebody. And he kind of showed them, like, these are words, you know, the S word, or typical, you know, 4-letter profane words. These are words that some people find offensive, but they're not actually sinful, right? And then, but if you call somebody something, it doesn't matter what words you use. If it's a hurtful insult, that is sinful. And really try to help them figure it out, you know. And then And so he would just let them go. Like, we could say, I'm on Facebook, so I'm not going to do it. But we could say this word or that word. Yeah. But can you call somebody this? No, you can't. That's sinful. And so just in the same way as, you don't want to use hurtful insults. You don't want to use God's name. And so, I don't think that's the primary use of that commandment. But I do think it certainly is a breaking of it, and it's something to be worked on. It's something to be repented of, and God's not going to cast a sweet little girl into hell because she did it, but it's still not great. Oh, how would you lovingly talk to someone who says they're a Christian because they were born in the United States? I would simply ask them what difference Jesus has made in their lives. I think that's always where you want to start. You always want to begin the conversation with the person of Jesus, with what that relationship is doing for you, and how he's changed you and how he's challenged you, and you can bring that up in a variety of ways. I think right now, with all there really is a kind of a racial awakening. It's a racial awakening going on right now. It's amazing, and it's great, and that there was a demonstration today in Vidor, Texas. Vidor, Texas is one of the most racist cities in the United States. It's a sundown city. If you don't know what a sundown city is, that's a city where it is unsafe for a black man or black woman to be seen in public after sundown. They used to have signs stating that. And now all of a sudden they're having demonstrations. That's great. That's a real breakthrough for the Lord, and I'm thankful for that. So, if you're having a conversation with one of these people who's just kind of a cultural Christian, an American Christian, I think it's a great thing to say, well, how's Jesus, what's Jesus been showing you about your racial racism or your views of other races? Those kind of questions are always where I want to start, Cindy. It's a good question. Christian shirts, yeah, I got a real problem with those, Kendall. I never let my kids wear one, and I wore them in college. I thought it was a real kind of trying to pretend, trying to show myself to be a Christian, a real kind of commitment. But I've really drawn back from those too. We really are pretty careful to not put a lot of Christian stuff on our kids in our youth group because it's a lot of pressure for them, and I think it's dangerous. So, all right, good to see you, Carrie Green. My granny said never use the Lord's name in vain. That's right. John Lynch, my goodness. Thank you for tuning in, my dear brother. I hope we were able to get some time together this summer. Well, guys, I don't have a whole lot of gasoline in the tank today. So let me see what we got going on here from Josh and Amanda. OMG is all over the kids' stuff. It's just not the best, Try not to be too legalistic about it. But there's, like I said, that is just the thinnest. And I want you to hear me here, Amanda. Okay, that kind of stuff. That's just the thinnest skin of the onion, and I just don't want you to get locked in on that. It's so much more important just to be encouraging your daughters to love the Lord and to receive His love and to know that they are loved by Him. That's infinitely more weighty and more important. And so I just really encourage you not to, answer their questions, but don't get too locked in on that stuff, okay? Man, I love you guys. I cannot wait to have more of you in worship, and I think more and more we're seeing kind of what is safe and what's not, and so I think it's going to be okay for us to gather and worship again more and more soon, and so looking forward to having more of you here next Sunday. Like I said, we'll be going to 2 services, so can't wait to see you there. And that's about it for me today. So I'm going to sign off. I'll see you online on Wednesday. We are having a meeting for really just kind of emotionally supporting each other through this time of racial repentance and upheaval. tonight at the church at 6:30. I'm not going to be able to make that, but I love y'all, and I will see you soon. Peace. Bye-bye.